Amanda here from createyourfuture.co. So today we have Katie joining us. Hi, Katie. Guys, Katie is a coach here at Create Your Future, and she has a success story from one of her clients. So this success story, she actually took the situation and completely turned it around and had this guy begging for her, which is absolutely amazing, because isn't that what we all want, is people like begging and wanting to be with us, right? Rather than us chasing them. So yeah, let's hear the story. Exciting.
Yeah. Okay, so this client went from complete separation for, around 6 years, I believe it was, to, like you said, him begging for her. And this is separation with no contact. They weren't talking. And at the time, she had kind of made up that it was an impossible situation. It was a relationship that she really loved, she really worked for, but so many insecurities came up, so many different things came up that not only did she create a separation, she created distance where he was gone. They broke up really because of travel, because of his career. There was like a third party at one point. So like a lot of everything had really created just this intense separation where the story was that like, it's done. No matter what, she couldn't have him. So for 6 years, she totally denied it. Totally like just thought and gave up. Like it can't happen. And during that time, and when I met with her, there was this insane desire that she did have to be with him that hadn't gone away. So I think at first it was a little bit more obsessive, right? But then it became this thing of, okay, if everyone is me pushed out, if I really create my own reality, then this isn't impossible. So when we started really working together, it was all about what is your current mental diet and mental conversation. A big thing she was doing is having a conversation with him like he was separate, like he was out of the picture, like he wasn't there. So a lot of questioning, right? So I'd ask her, like, when you think of him, what do you think about? What's going on? And it was a lot of, what is he doing? Does he think about me? Am I the only one like in this position? And ultimately, that type of questioning, that type of just insecurity, not only does it go against the idea that he actually is within her, listening to every thought, but it created this separation. It only just increased it, I think. And it also made her feel that she had no power. When she created that he was gone, he was in her the whole time. And every time she's questioning, every time she's like, is it going to happen? What does he think? What's going on? She's creating more of this just, I guess, insecurity. So the project is like, okay, if you had that desired reality, if you were with him right now, what would that mental conversation be? Because we're always having these mental conversations. And what it really looked like is once she got really clear on the desired outcome of like, okay, we're living together, we're waking up together, we're eating breakfast together, we're going on dates, we're doing all these fun things, we would be talking about it, we'd be hanging out. So she started going through her day and like chatting about her day with him internally, right? She's having breakfast, and instead of going, what's he doing? Where is he? It became, what do you think about, what we're eating right now? How cute am I right now? Like different things, hearing encouragement from him, like how much he loves her, just going through every part of their day together so she could hear him again, she could feel him again. And after a few months of like doing this all the time and also healing past stories, like past hurts or resentments, she'd ask him, internally, why did you leave me? Why is this really happening? And she started to hear the answer she wanted to hear, right? Like, I choose you now, you're everything to me, things like that. And as she continued with it, out of the blue, mind you, because she had no contact with him, he didn't even know where she lived, he actually reached out to her. He came to her in the location where she actually lives and started reaching out to her and chasing her, texting her, making contact with her, having the conversations she's been having within, all the way to the point where she didn't even know if she wanted it anymore because it becomes such a like natural thing. It's like, what? This is really happening. So that was her big breakthrough. It's like, he just came to her. It all just started happening. Like there was no separation in the first place.
I know, I mean, you nailed it, right? It was basically living from the end. If I already had my desired reality, what would my thoughts be? What would my day be like? What would I be thinking? Right? Like totally important. And it's so funny that you mentioned the whole thing about, she got the desired reality, but then she was like, wait a minute, do I want that? I had the same experience. I've tried so hard and so much work to get Andrew to want to move in with me. So many intentions. I had to go through so many stories. I had to revise so many things that he said. And then when finally it happened so fast. And I was like, do I even want it now? Like I was, really? Do you want me now? Weird. Now what am I going to do? I don't know if I want this anymore. But now that you want it, I'm not sure I want it, No, I totally get that, and sometimes it does, because I think it's like, we talked about this earlier, it's that kind of being in that state of wanting and desiring for so long that when you finally get it, it's like, wait a minute, it's like something's missing. Can it be this easy? Can it be like this? No, that's really amazing. And I think you pointed out a really good thing that you guided her with, was realizing that questioning and the person is not outside of us. They are us. They're overhearing every single thought we have. Yeah. Everybody is overhearing it. Our bodies, every cell in our body is overhearing it. Everything is listening to it. The walls, my computer, everything. Yeah. So one thing that we always here suggest is to make sure that, you do a little list of little things that are everyone as you pushed out, right? That way, or remind yourself, of the time when, somebody was calling you at the same time, or you thought about them and they texted you, or they brought you fried chicken, just things like that, right?
They're always listening, just ready to bring it, ready to do it.
Exactly. So, and how do you get someone to beg for you? Is you put that in your mental conversation. You start intending that that's what they say, So what are some intentions we can throw out there for people for this? Because people love intentions and we're all about intentions.
Yeah. So I find some really good intentions, especially with this client. It was, first of all, like, what I want already wants me. Like, I intend that what I want wants me, and I see proof of it all the time. Right?
Oh, yeah.
No rejection, no separation, like he's listening right now. Or I intend to see proof that he's listening right now. Right? I intend to hear from someone that I'm thinking of right now, if you want to go more general. Another few good ones that I know were really useful in this is, I intend that, the version of him that I'm intending is listening and always shows up for me, is consistently here for me. I intend to know that everyone is you pushed out. The one thing I used was every me instead of everyone. Or everyone else. It's every me. Every version of me is out there listening to me, and I see proof of it all the time. Mm-hmm. So constantly just intending that not only are they listening, that you're seeing proof of it. It's working. It's always happening. Yeah. And I always think, intending that, I am good enough to have what I want. It's already done. I think that was a really big one of, she was so in this new world of making the invisible visible. It's like, you get to choose this conversation that you want to live into. And the more you're focusing on it, the more it will become visible in the outside world. So just, intending that these conversations are going to be seen without. I'm choosing my conversations. They're going to happen.
Oh, I love that. One thing that I always create is that Andrew wants to spend every minute with me, and he always includes me in his plans. Yeah. To the point where I'm like, okay, that's enough, buddy, right? But what's your idea of begging too? But those are really good intentions. That's amazing. It's so true. You know what? You've nailed something that I wanted to actually bring up. I might have put this up in another video. And we always get the question, right? Like, should you just say it once and then drop it, or should you focus on it? You should focus on it. Always, always focus on it. The more clear you can make it in the mind, the quicker it's going to show up out there. The more details, the more, story that you go through, you're going to shift it. It's going to show up out there. It's not just one thought and done. Now, some things will show up like that, but there's zero resistance behind them. But when it's something like money or relationship, or like something that's really near and dear to you, you've got to put more effort into it, like just a ton of it. It's not going to push it away. It's going to bring it a lot quicker. Because if you're not thinking about how you want it, then what are you thinking about?
Right. And it becomes fun because I think realizing that we're always having these mental conversations with everyone starts to almost be like, I know for me, it's almost like watching this reality TV show within, right? I'm having all these inner dialogues, but when I start to script them, when I start to make them really interesting, like when you're talking about something random with your SP inside your head, and then it happens without, because it became so fun, it became so real within. It's just, life becomes more of way more of a game, way more fun.
Oh my, hugely. You know what? I was chatting with somebody about, I was in the real estate about getting a place and putting an offer. And I was thinking, oh, we should like, put it like a little bit up. So kind of like, the price is right, like, 1001, right? So I'm like, yeah, no, this number plus one, right? And then all of a sudden she was like the price is right. I'm like, I was just thinking that, it's those moments that, that you just have a moment where you connect, and it's just, keep track of those moments, guys. Like, celebrate them, realize. And every time that happens, I'm like, oh yeah, you know what? I got this. Why am I even worried about anything in my life? Like, honestly, and it's not about going and worrying and getting off your mental diet and ruining it. It's just a temporary pause. You shift right back. Everything was right where you left it. In fact, it could even be better, if you say, well, no, it's going to be even better when I go back to my mental diet, because now I know one thought I don't need to have, right? And I can get on those doubts, right? So yeah, it's funny you mentioned that, spending time within is, Andrew went away this, like, I don't know when this is going to air, but he went away as of today, yesterday. And I was almost like, I get time to be in my own head. I was like, this is great. I'm like, all the things I'm going to plan and do. I'm like, oh my goodness, I get a break from the world to just do my thing, right? So, guys, don't look at your situation as bad. Look at it as good, that you've got time to create what you want. And you know what? I always say, enjoy it while you got it, because you know what? It's not going to last long. Things are always changing and you are going to get what you want. So use this time now and don't resist it, but be thankful for it, because you've created it for yourself for whatever reason,
There's one thing I would add to that time within that I know is like been helpful in my own life and my clients, was when you're doing the mental conversations, what is it like to hear all the compliments? Like almost like affirming and telling yourself how great you are, but what is it like to hear them tell you how great you are, and giving yourself like amazing compliments of how beautiful you are, how amazing you are, like whatever it is that really, lights you up, and learning to feel that. I found that was really important to hear that without all the time, if that's something that's important to you, especially if you want them to beg for you. What does that sound like? What does it sound like if they beg for you? Do you know what that's like?
Yes, exactly. I know. One thing I'm going to add is it's okay to get that from your outer world. Yes. Okay.
Yes.
We all have to create that. We're wonderful within, but guess what? Just by saying, I intend for someone to beg for me and tell me I'm beautiful, we're creating that already within. Okay. So there's nothing wrong with asking somebody to say it to you. You have enough self-esteem to say, I want to hear that from somebody. That is okay. So guys, don't confuse that with, I need to build it up in me first. No, just by intending somebody else does it for you, you're actually already building it up within yourself first. Excellent point. Excellent. Yeah. What are you going to see, hear, and feel? So yeah, guys, sit down, take a piece of paper and pen, write out what it looks like the person to beg for you and what they're going to do. He or she, like seriously, have some fun with it. It's Adam texting a million times. Please hang out with me tonight. Please, 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 please. That would be fun, right? You could even write yourself a text message from them saying what you want to hear. That's a really cool technique too, right? So many different ways that you guys can have fun and play with this and create with it. So amazing. Oh, Katie, you are absolutely amazing. Thanks for coming on and sharing your story. Katie is new with Create Your Future. She is having a sale. She's not new to coaching though, as you can tell. She does know her stuff. So thank you so much for being here. And guys, thank you for liking, commenting, sharing, and subscribing. And we'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.